Do you ever feel that your needs are invisible? That no one else realizes that you are a human being who has limits, who needs to sleep and rest, and that within your family unit, no one seems to acknowledge that, and your needs are being unmet continually? You will want to listen to today's episode as I give some very practical ideas to take care of your needs.
Hey friend, do the daily demands of family life leave little time for self-care? Are you losing yourself in the process of caring for others? Are you ready to make self-care and healthy boundaries a natural part of your day while embracing your roles as a wife and mom? Well, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, married 17 years to a neurodiverse man, mom of 3 neurodiverse kids, and many more roles. Welcome to the Moms and Neurodiverse Families podcast. Get ready to begin your self-care journey. Grab your planner and listen in as we take another small step towards a peaceful, healthier you.
In the early years of our family, my mindset was that I take care of my spouse's needs and he takes care of mine. We work together, and that I acknowledge and I see his needs and that he would see mine. And over time, there was this mindset I had that if someone else is not stating you should do this, you should take care of yourself, if I was not given the time, provided the time to get away and take care of myself, I didn't see it as a need. And I'm wondering if you can relate to that. If one, people in your life, specifically your spouse, or maybe your kids if they're much older, they live with the expectation that you're an energizer bunny. You just keep going. You keep providing whatever their needs are, whatever they are needing that moment in the home for food. You just keep producing. And they get upset when the desired result's not there, but they never think about the fuel, the energy that you need to do all the different activities you do every day. And I began having a mindset that it must not be valid. It must not be a need because other people around me are not seeing it as a need. And that put me into such a deep hole over time because our bodies need fuel to continue. And it's not only physical nutrition that we need, but we need fuel for our mind and for our soul. We need fuel for our brain. And if you're in the spot where you feel they don't realize, now it could be that your spouse, and if you have older kids, possibly they are unaware. They have mind blindness. They don't aware that you're a human being who has limitations, who needs to recharge and rest and replenish. Or maybe your spouse is unsure how to help you do that. They see it's a need. They literally draw a blank. And because of that, they don't say anything or offer anything, but they want to. Or maybe it's this last category, which my heart goes out to you. They're unwilling. They are unwilling to be supportive of you. They are willing to take, but they are unwilling to be supportive of you. Whichever one of these 3 scenarios you are facing, one, I would encourage you not to let bitterness take over. It is so easy to do. Why can't so-and-so do blank? Why don't they, fill in the blank? I encourage you not to have bitterness. Instead, I encourage you for action. We are the only people responsible for meeting our own needs. Yes, we are caregivers, and there is naturally built in with us that we want to care for others. We want to care for our spouse and our children, for our parents and our friends and loved ones, but we are the only ones who have the responsibility to make sure we take care of ourselves. And if we are looking for that, provide me that space, provide me that time, show me that I'm important. Sometimes we're going to be waiting for a long, long time before that happens, or it'll be in very rare moments. So We need to change our mindset. You do not need another person to acknowledge your needs for your needs to be valid. Again, you do not need another person to acknowledge your needs for your needs to be valid. And this can often be tricky when we have a neurodiverse family because you are the only one sometimes that sees your children's needs, as in you see the sensory challenges, you see the gaps, you see the problems understanding social emotional situations. So you see that and you notice other people are not. But in this situation, you also have to realize that you need to see your needs. So this is my suggestion, super practical tips, and I'm going to use my planner as a basis. First, faith. That's one of the pivotal support systems for my planner system. And I look at one, faith is that I am a daughter of the king. And so that is a relationship I have, but also that I am Jesus, his disciple, and that there's things for me to learn. So one, if you're not a person of faith, I understand, just hold in here for a bit. But as a person of faith, am I spending time being filled, being encouraged? And in these hard moments, oftentimes I turn to Psalms. That is a place where oftentimes I have my heart filled. But what are you doing for your heart to be filled and also to help realign you as Jesus' disciple in not letting bitterness take over? Okay, next, let's look at our mind. In this situation, what I would be doing is looking for 2 times a day. Maybe it's morning and evening or right before your most stressful times. What are your more stressful situations? Is it right before, like taking the kids to school? And then maybe right before and pick up? Is it drop off and maybe supper time? Find what are those 2 times where it's so hard and the needs seem to outweigh your capacity. 20, 30 minutes before that, even if you have to wake up a little bit earlier, take some time for either walking outside, deep breathing, something to relax your mind. It can be meditating on scripture. Maybe you are just simply making a cup of tea and you are sitting down and you're looking outside and you light a candle. You are intentionally saying no to someone else's needs and you're saying yes to your own. That's for your mind. Giving time for your mind just to think and to process, maybe to grieve, but not stay grieving, to move towards there's always one thing I can do. And that's what we're looking at. What is that one thing you can do for yourself, as tiny as it might be? That one thing begins creating a movement forward. Okay, next, let's look at our health. What is something that you can do for yourself for health? Again, we're going to be pushing back on other people's needs. There's going to be some things that we cannot take care of it at all. For me, my health recently has been working on my sleep. That has been paramount for me because I know that if I get that foundation right, so many things line up. For you, it may be as simple as my earlier episodes of drinking water. Maybe it is drinking water. It can be taking a walk, 5 minutes outside. But what is one thing you're doing for your health? One thing. And this is something that it could be 3 minutes long, ladies. This is not let's do an hour workout. No, I'm looking for very tangible. And again, the more you spend few moments throughout the day for yourself, you begin realigning yourself into one, being the person God made you to be, but 2, you are able to have more capacity and you are exempling to others, I am important and my needs are important. Not because we're divas, but because the roles that we do are important and it is impossible to be running a marathon with only enough energy for a sprint. It's just not possible. Next is community. This can be tricky since leaving your kids alone, as in with your spouse, or if they're not old enough to be left alone at home, that can be tricky to get out and about with others in community. So my suggestion here is that 1, look for a online Bible study or group that you can be with, or look for a group that's involved with your hobby where maybe they're doing weekly or daily videos and you are part of the group, even if it's just making some comments, you're somehow part of a group engaging with other people and you feel some community with others. You feel some fellowship. It could be that you have one or two people that you feel comfortable with sharing about your family challenges and marriage challenges. Have them come over and have tea or coffee. Sally Clarkson has a wonderful book called Tea Time Discipleship, Sharing Faith One Cup at a Time. And what I love about this book is that she was a missionary overseas for a part of this book. And she shares, I mean, really, the amount of people for her to interact with was much smaller because of language and different challenges. But she has made it an ongoing mission to have people over at her house. And she had a nice cup, a nice and saucer, and sometimes they were a mismatch, and bought some teas, which is very inexpensive, and would invite people over just to talk. So you don't have to go out sometimes. You know, maybe it could even be you're putting on technology, which I hate doing, but you're putting something on for the kids to watch, and you and your friend are going into the kitchen or a nearby room where you can have tea. And there's something nice about just having a 2 cups of tea that you bought from Goodwill or wherever, some thrift store, and you are sharing and talking. You can have community that way, as simple as that. Very little money being spent, but that connection time is so important. Even if it's you have no one in your life that you can talk about the challenges of your neurodiverse family, but you have other shared interests, having that type of community is so important. Okay, last thing in the planner for our self-care needs, our life needs, is enjoy. Now, this one can be one of your hobbies that you haven't picked up in a while, but as I'm recording this, we are in the Christmas season. So enjoy can be something as simple as there is a holiday tradition that you enjoy, that you like so much. Maybe there's memories from your childhood, or maybe you saw someone else do it and said, I want to do that. Look at bringing in some type of tradition or memory. It could be as simple as you want to read by the Christmas tree, a book. That is something that Lisa Marie Landreth from Paper and Glam, she has many different seasonal traditions that she shares, and one of them is reading by a Christmas tree. So you can find something that you enjoy that does not cost anything, that is simple. Once the kids are in bed, you can curl up with a blanket and enjoy the lights and read, and that can feed so much of your mind and your heart and your emotions when you are doing something that you truly enjoy. Maybe you love making snow angels. You want to go outside and make a snow angel. Then go do that. It could be drawing. You want to spend a few minutes drawing, but find something that you enjoy and take a few minutes to do that. And it's amazing when these 4 things again, faith is the center point. But after that, there's 4 things, which is our mind, our health, community, and enjoy. Those 4 areas, when we spend a little bit of time, we begin feeling our needs being met. We feel joy starting to slowly come in to our hearts. And this is very important, especially if maybe your spouse doesn't buy you a Christmas gift, or they do, but they go out at 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve and they're not spending any time, any thoughtfulness for it. Or Christmas is extremely difficult because there's so many sensory challenges, wrapping paper being open and the sound, the different sound levels changing as kids open gifts. There can be a lot of sensory overwhelmed. So by you taking this time to feed into yourself in these 4 areas, along with faith, which is a support, it will help you to be more present, have more capacity. But again, you're pushing back. No one else is going to see your needs, only you. And you're being a role model for your kids. on how to advocate for yourself and take care for yourself. I would love to hear what you are doing this holiday season to take care of yourself, to make sure that your tanks are filled and that you are able to have the capacity to do what you need to do. Feel free to send me a message, a DM, either in Facebook or Instagram. Love to hear from you. Hey, thank you for joining me today. I pray this episode gave you encouragement to take one small step. If so, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help other women find this show. By the way, if you're loving this conversation and want more encouragement like this, join my email list at bit.ly/myselfcare. That is bit.ly/myselfcare. I have a planner launching soon that will help you put all this into action in your own life. I look forward to chatting with you again next week for another episode.